Welcome back to the D3Hoops.com Classic. I'm Dave McHugh, now joined by Coach Kevin Vande Streek from Calvin. They come out here and play 2 games in less than 24 hours, and they had a tall task with Whitworth, I should say, and then followed up with a tough St. Vincent squad. And you come out of here 1-1 and nearly made it 2-0 with a really good game against Whitworth.
Yeah, you know, come after Christmas, I always say my record after Christmas is about 10% wins because we have a week off, you know, and we came out here and we practiced Monday, it was all, and we had to change a few things, but I'm really happy. I love playing good teams. They point out what your weaknesses are, and we have some, and we know what to address, but I thought our guys played really hard and played pretty well, so hopefully we are kind of on the upswing.
It was interesting. Yeah, you said to me, we're not the team I wanted to be here, and we weren't all that thrilled with it. But then you and I just before here was talking that you thought you guys played pretty well. Obviously, it's on your scale, the Calvin scale. But what does a week like this or 2 games like this do for you now that you start heading into MIAA play?
Yeah, I think it's got to give us a real shot of confidence. You know, we have 2 seniors, and they're really the only guys who have played extensively in the past. So, you know, we have a couple of transfers. We have some sophomores that didn't play much last year or at all. So just the experience factor, the team bonding stuff of being together, hanging together. You know, we did some fun stuff when we were here, but hopefully we're building. The message I tried to get to our team right from the get-go was our first semester was about improvement. And so every day we practice, every day we play. Hopefully we get better, and, you know, hopefully we get to conference play, we'll have a shot at it at the end.
You obviously lost a lot from last year's amazing run, and now you come back and, as you say, find your team. But you really did find some good players here in these 2 games, and now you do head in an MIAA, which is top-heavy. I mean, you've got Hope up there trying, certainly going to be a tough team, and almost off to a great start, and you could probably talk about a few others in there. What do you take from this week? Can you tell these guys and take anything from this and get yourself ready for conference play or use it for conference play?
Oh, I think definitely. You know, we played Ohio Wesleyan early on, and they were ranked somewhere in the top 5 at that point, and Whitworth is right about there. And to be able to say, look, we didn't beat either one of those teams, but Ohio Wesleyan was a 5 or 6 point game the whole way, lost by 6. Whitworth was, you know, a little back and forth, and, you know, kind of went down to 1 shot we had to send the game into overtime. So to be able to say, look, we can play with some of the best teams in the country, and now to repeat that performance and those efforts, of course, you need to do that every night in our league, and hopefully we're progressing toward that.
Another one that's considered up there in that realm of Ohio Wesleyan and Whitworth is obviously Hope in your conference. You'll see them twice, including the season ender. I think it's at your place, if memory serves. Obviously, that's a big game in any general sense. It's one of the biggest rivalries in all of college basketball. But knowing that you can play with Whitworth probably gives these guys even more confidence.
I would think so, yeah. And we've seen Hope. You know, we do some couple of classics kind of with them. So we've seen them play, and again, early on when I looked at them, man, we're a long way from where they are. And but I think we're making progress and taking steps to get there.
You know, obviously you're on the national committee, serving your I keep forgetting, 4th year or third year on the committee. You had talked to me that thanks to some changes at the school, you got to come to this event, and as a result, you get to maybe see some teams you don't normally get to see. How much is that helpful for you as a committee member? Obviously, there is no eye test necessarily, but now you can at least put names to faces and names to teams. Yeah,
I think it's helpful. You know, we have just great people on the committee, but when you have coaches, you know, that see some teams around, and again, it's not an eye test. We don't say, boy, they were really good, they're in, or anything like that, but you can use it to validate a little bit. You know, sometimes some teams have a high win-loss percent and a poor SOS, or the other way around. But sometimes you can use that to validate, and it's really fun for us to play some different teams. We've played Whitworth a couple of times in my time, but not very often. First time to play St. Vincent, and you know, they're a great program, and you know, certainly in the top 20 all the time, their program, and so yeah, it's great to see those teams.
You get to see Ramapo, maybe understand the NJAC better, et cetera. By the way, the committee chair is an old former player of yours when you were an assistant, if memory serves, Brian Van Haften at BNF. Hard to take orders from him now?
Well, I got to keep him in line. There's no doubt about that. I think everyone on the committee knows who the real brain trust. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm sure Brian's listening now.
I'm just kidding. No, he's phenomenal. He's just a great young man, and he really gets it. He's great with the bracketing stuff. He's got a real sense of the national teams, which in all honesty, coming on the committee, I just didn't have that. Sure. I've not been around and seen those teams, and so I've paid closer attention now. But he's a great leader and certainly a servant's heart to do what's best for the basketball.
And I should say, the last few years on the committee, it really seems like that has been the mentality to make sure everybody on the committee truly understands the national aspects of things. The men's committee really seems to have taken that on as a mantle.
Yeah, I think so. And great people. So when you're working with those people, you trust what their opinions are. There hasn't been one even sniff of someone trying to stick up for their own league or their own team, or there hasn't been any of that. And so when you have a group like that that's willing to work together and feels confident enough to voice their opinion, even though it may not be accepted by the group, that's a great way to do it, and I like the group very much.
Before we let you go back here to Vegas, you guys said you had some fun while you were out here. Obviously a nice trip to Vegas. What did you guys do? We always ask this. What was the non-basketball schedule like?
Yeah, well, a couple of things we did. The Sunday night, we rented a bus or whatever you want to call it. Took us down to the I'm sorry, that was Monday night. Let me back up. On Sunday night, Sunday night we did the Uber thing for the first time, and we went down and we spent probably 3 hours on the Strip. Cool. We ate in between, and we walked around to some of the Bellagio and the Tropicana, all those things you see on TV, right? That
they don't have in Grand Rapids.
They don't in my little hometown either. So for me, it was the first time I've ever been here, which was really a neat thing. And then Monday night we got a bus that took us down. We went to Penn and Teller to the show.
I'm jealous.
Well, I've been looking since the summer for some kind of a show. When we've gone on these trips, we've tried to do something that's native to the area, but the tickets were so expensive, and so I just kind of kept looking, and the week before, Penn and Teller ran this huge sale. It was like half off, and then another $10 off for the group that we had, and so it made it reasonable, and we all went and had a really good time. When I told the guys that we were going to Penn and Teller, I was all excited, and they had no idea. No. Well, then they started looking it up online, and then they're pretty excited, and they all had a really good time.
Too bad you couldn't get Penn and Teller to make one of these teams disappear for you.
No lie. We'll put some shots in the hoop, one of the two.
Right, exactly. Well, thanks for joining me. I certainly appreciate it. Thanks for coming out to the D3 Hoops Classic. We certainly appreciate you coming out here as well, and glad to see you guys did so well. And safe travels home, and Happy New Year. I know I'll see you in Salem no matter what.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's been a first-class event, and I'm not just saying that since I'm on here, but it really has been. We've been treated just to the highest fashion, and the teams have been great and a lot of fun. We appreciate being invited.
Well, thanks for coming out. We appreciate it. He is Kevin Vande Streek from Calvin, and that wraps up our interviews at the D3Hoops.com Classic. We're 15 for 15, which is always nice. You can obviously watch all the rest online at D3Hoops.com.